Hi, thank you. I have kind of a comment and a question. So I noticed, at least for Bangladesh and Cambodia, there were some statistics not only about kind of lack of interest in math and computer science, but specifically lack of girls and women interested in computer science. And it also seems to me that some of these countries like Ecuador and Niger, where math and computer science is essentially new, that there's an opportunity to encourage girls and women to participate that maybe countries like the United States didn't really take advantage of. And in fact, they actively discouraged them for a long time. So I was wondering if you could talk about that.
Okay, so maybe an opportunity to get women into the field. And maybe, I don't know how it is in your countries. I have a friend who is very cynical about the lack of women in academia in some fields in developed countries, who says that the number of women you get, which varies enormously all over the countries in Europe, where the genetic constituents are not that different, but the number of women. And he said it's a link, it's inversely proportional to the salary you get, to an average of the salary you get and the prestige the job has. So Switzerland, lots of money, lots of prestige, no women. I mean, Portugal, not so high salaries, not so high prestige, lots of women. So maybe that's an opportunity to get, I mean, if you inspire the women, maybe
Maybe it's sure.
I know it's terrible, but it's an opportunity. Let's take it. I mean, what's...
I just want to like to confirm that it's really a good chance, like she mentioned, that the World Bank as a project maybe give priority to women to, if they want to join science, technology, IT, because in Cambodia, for sure, you have seen that it's very, very less, only, what was it, 300, and men are 1,400 or something. So it's really too less, and also it relates to the traditions that, for instance, architecture. Actually, here in Western world, I see almost the same black balance between men and women. But in Cambodia, in one class there's mostly only one girl, and they think this construction works, and it's related to men only. This is still in mindset of the woman in developing country or country with tradition that is divided by responsibility of women and men like that. And this is also in the case of computer science. I think it's still considered as a job of men in the mindset of women. Wow. But as a project, I agree that it can be, it's good. A chance to motivate, give priority to women to join it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. For example, my country, it is more or less the same tradition. I think the women are very scarce in research and in scientific study in general. Yes. For example, I think. We have, I'm sure, I think we have two women, mathematician women in my country. If I don't, I see, of course, yeah, maybe two women. I don't know, for computer science, I think we have in women. So that, maybe if we have some specific motivation to propose maybe the woman, but the idea in my country, at some time, at some level, the women have to be married, so that after married, she have not a lot of faculty to do everything.
I see.
That is maybe some problem. But maybe amount our perspective, that I didn't there is no detail in the presentation. I said we have our proper, I don't know, our own perspective to motivate with some concrete action. For example, we are trying to count since high school, some very important students. But our idea is not really effective by lack of enough research to do that. For example, what is our idea? Our idea is that to create, besides the government flow for the student, to create some specific flowship for some specific student since high school.
So you would like to have special tracks?
Yeah, of course. But we try to do this action in collaboration with my university in Spain. But at some times we have some problem. We are obliged to stop. But we have till now this idea. Maybe inside we can try to pick some specific condition for the women. It can be maybe be attractive, but in general it would be difficult about our tradition, maybe a little bit our religion. So that is, yeah.
It's just a comment on the gender issue, because I think there is at least one counterexample showing that probably the reasons for low representative of females in the universities or in research can be very different. The neighboring country of Cambodia, for instance, Thailand, there you have a majority of female university professors compared to the male university professors, and they're not bad paid. I mean, they have very decent salaries, so that is also not the argument. So it must have a lot to do with the local traditions about the role of women in the society and of men, which are, of course, then depending on the local culture. But I'm mentioning Thailand because Thailand is not all that different from Cambodia. But I think still the Cambodian society is, and the situation at Cambodian universities is not like in Thailand. So, of course, the salaries in Cambodia are much less than in Thailand, not comparable and not enough to actually pay the living for a family.
I think, in India, the software and the computing programming jobs have been a big equalizer in the gender sense. The top universities or the elite universities where the competition is high, we get about 20% girl students, women students into the university. But the lower, the middle level universities and colleges have much better, 40%, even 50%, some of them. And even the IT jobs, the service sector jobs, entry level 40-45% women employees on equal terms with the men. But due to various reasons, the attrition rate is much higher for women. So they say at the vice president level, there's probably 8% or 7%, very few women. A lot of it is, I don't know how much of it is like structural issues, but there are also personal issues due to family, raising family. They drop out of the workspace or they don't aspire as high. So, but at the entry level, the numbers are extremely good, but not at senior management level. This is the numbers that they gave.
In co-curricular activities like Olympiad and programming contest, participation of women is less. It is also true for advanced countries. I remember in year 2002, SCM wanted a all-women team to the programming contest. And we got one from Yuha Women's University of South Korea. They actually did not do well. Okay? We tried in Bangladesh quite a lot, and we had a girl who was very good. Somehow we trained them very well, and in 2012, she came to Italy for International Olympiad in Informatics, and she became champion among girls. Now in Bangladesh, we try to hold programming contest for women only, so that they come a little bit forward. But it is still not up to the mark.